Guys, Hollywood has officially given up. I think that you were already aware of that, as they just made, the live action remake of Moana, which came out less than 10 years ago. But even worse than that, I just learned they have greenlit the production of a LABUBU movie. A movie about those little troll demon keychains that women are obsessed with and have already become uncool. Yeah, those things. They're
done.
Gonna make a movie about LABUBUs at Sony, just off the heels of this smash hit, K-pop Demon Hunters. They decided their next best move to follow up that huge hit is a LABUBU movie. The Hollywood Reporter was the exclusive report about this. LABUBU, the plush toy line of scruffy, cute, ugly monsters, could be headed to the big screen. Sony Pictures, home of the Jumanji movies and via its animation division, K-pop Demon Hunters, has picked up the screen rights to the Chinese doll brand with the aim of making a movie and, in success, launching a franchise. So it's not just one movie. It's going to be a whole cinematic universe of LABUBUs. No producer or filmmaker is attached at this stage, as the deal was just signed this week. It's too early to tell whether the potential movie would be live action or animated, and Sony has not offered any comment for the piece. So I don't know what to expect other than more slop that no one asked for and no one wants. Like, I don't even think people who like LABUBUs want a LABUBU movie.
Yeah, I don't know how it would do. Like, I tend to be wrong about these types of things. I bet you could end up doing gangbusters at the box office. The problem is, the article mentions, like, it's still too early to tell whether LABUBUs will go the way of the Beanie Baby or something more long-lasting like Hello Kitty. Well, the thing is now everything goes the way of the Beanie Baby because technology and, culture moves so damn quickly. Like, nothing stays popular for very long.
To be clear, LABUBUs are already passé. Yeah. They are not fashionable anymore. They were fashionable in the summer. They're gone. Like, I still see them here and there out and about in the world, which is terrifying, but they are uncool officially now. I don't know what has replaced them, but they're already gone. And they're going to greenlight a movie that, they're going to delay the release until, 2029 or something, if the rest of Hollywood is anything to judge off of.
Nobody will even remember what it is by then.
Exactly. This is the problem. They're just going to pick up any hyper-consumerist slop and try to make a movie about it instead of making a real story that interests people.
Yeah.
And, I think people are missing the point when they respond to headlines like this saying, nobody wants this, nobody asked for this, we hate this sucks, stop, please stop. Because they're fundamentally missing the reality, which is that no one asked you and no one cares that you don't want it. Your preference matters not the slightest iota to Hollywood studios at this point. That has been communicated very clearly to us for the last 15 years or more. They do not care what audiences want, and they will decide what you want for you. And even if the numbers show that this movie bombs, nobody watched it, it's a total flop, they'll just continue doubling down in this path, digging in their heels. What you want does not matter, whether it's in the arena of entertainment or technology. It doesn't matter. So stop expressing your opinion, basically. It's a pointless endeavor. It's totally futile to continue telling people in the tech world, people in Hollywood, what you want and don't want, because they're not listening, and their best response to you is like, don't worry, you'll like it eventually. We'll just make sure that you like it by the time it's out. Or their response is some variation of like, too bad, you're getting it anyway.
There's some very positive stuff being said about the first images for Zelda. People
That's true.
That.
Well, except from a very mentally ill corner of the internet that cannot handle the stars of the movie being white.
Yeah.
Only, I said this earlier on X, I said only Asian people are allowed to make movies where they don't race swap the white characters. That's why they're kind of getting a pass. There are still the people who are mad that Hunter Schafer didn't get the role that Bo Bragason did. So there's like a very small vocal minority railing against the Zelda movie, but for the most part, I'm seeing a positive response.
Yes. But my point was more like that's something people actually kind of wanted, and now they're actually getting it.
Definitely. But why did it take that long?
That's a very good question. I still don't know why we haven't gotten a live action Metal Gear Solid movie.
And again, I'm just saying, telling people that are creating movies, that are creating tech for consumers, they're not listening to the audiences. They're not listening to the consumers because, I mean, even more so in the industry for tech, your preferences do not matter. They did not ask. They are not taking it into account. And this is what I was trying to express on our episode on Friday in reference to like AI, for instance. People are responding to this news that Disney Plus has introduced this feature for user-generated AI content on the platform, and it's going to be shareable to all subscribers on Disney Plus. Everyone that I've seen responding to this on social media is saying like, thanks, I hate it. We didn't ask for this. We don't want this. Please stop. And I'm just trying to point out that they didn't take your opinion into account in the first place, and you expressing your opinion now makes exactly zero difference in whether they go ahead with that.
They're not planning for our generation, or my generation, or your generation, or even even Gen Alpha. They're planning for beta and beyond. Like when they do AI slop.
That's true.
Like they don't care about us because they already know. Like me, I'm ancient in that respect. They are planning 10, 15, 20 years ahead, and what they want is that in 20 years, when the technology catches up with the idea, that generation of kids who grew up entirely with an AI voice talking to them their whole life while they go to school, they're going to want to sit on their computer. It's why I think that I've always pushed back on the idea that Tim talks about. People will want to sit there and make their own movies. I'm like, not our generation. Like the last thing I want to do is go home and make my own movie with AI prompts. I would rather die than do that. Okay, I would. But Gen Beta, whatever comes after, what comes after that?
We don't know, but it's probably going to be Generation Gamma.
They will absolutely want to do stuff like this.
I think it's because they will not be presented with a better option, not because it's actually their organic preference. What I was saying about tech on Friday is that people have this strange nostalgia for a time when corporations not so long ago were interested in catering to audience preferences. So it used to be that there might have been a need or a desire for a certain technology that improves our quality of life. Like, it would be so great if we had a technology that could wash our clothes for us. Here's this product, and then people buy it, and it adds to their quality of life, gives them time for other things in their life than just, manual labor. However, what followed that point, when people started making more money, working in factories, coalescing in urban areas, corporations then introduced advertising to engender a desire in the consumers that they did not have in the first place for a product that they didn't ever conceive of existing. So they then started creating our desires for us. And now we've gotten to a point where we are post-desire, and the consumer desire is totally irrelevant to product development for corporations because we are not being pitched on anything now. We are not being sold anything now, increasingly. We are the product, and it's incredibly cliche to say that, but we're the product because they're trying to use our data. Like we are being harvested for our data. Well,
that's what I was talking about when David Ellison says that Paramount is not just an entertainment company. It's a technology company.
Yes.
It's because they want to use all of this, and their excuse as of right now is that they use the data to better understand their customers so they know what to make, right? Like that story, like people like political thrillers, people like Kevin Spacey, therefore we will put Kevin Spacey in a political thriller a la Netflix back in 2012 or whatever year that was. Might have been later than that. Point being that everything's data-centric now.
Yeah.
And I think about this sometimes because I wonder what that's like in like the wrestling business, where it's like back in the day, Vince McMahon decided what was going to be big. And then, if the audience fell in line, sometimes it worked, like a Stone Cold Steve Austin, and became the biggest wrestler of a generation. Or you go early Roman Reigns where they said, he's the guy. And then everyone's like, we reject because you're telling me he's the guy. At least that was a human being trying to pitch you on the idea, not an algorithm. I long for the days of Vince McMahon telling me what I need to watch, like as opposed to what we're going to be getting in the future.
A LABUBU movie is the definition of algorithmic desire programming. Like, even when these Hollywood studios, media conglomerates, or tech corporations are supposedly using our data to preempt our desires and preferences and provide for them, they're doing so in such a tragically stupid way where even the success of Barbie, for instance, led them to believe, oh, perfect, we'll just make more movies about toys. And Randall Park is
Can I steel man that argument at least a little bit if I was them?
Well, but before I let you do that, I wanted to mention Randall Park's comment about the success of Barbie. He said Hollywood keeps taking the wrong lessons from successful movies. For example, Barbie is this massive blockbuster, and the idea is make more movies about toys. No, make more movies by and about women. So that's like way louder than it used to be. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, everybody.
Yes, you finally get the crisis parties back. So even from his liberal feminist perspective, he is pointing out the miscalculation that Hollywood studios have made, which somehow the domino effect went from the Barbie movie making over $1 billion to LABUBU slop.
I will steel man in a couple of ways, actually. Okay, so if I'm the studio, yes, you have access to these IPs. One of the joke was always Hot Wheels. But when people say that in their mind, what they think is the guy goes into a pitch meeting, goes, and then the car, it's all CGI, and it jumps off a cliff, and it explodes. Or the guy says, we get Vin Diesel, and he pitches an actual movie concept around an IP. Still doable. Do we think that that's actually what's going to happen? Probably not. But that would be the steel man of the argument, is that theoretically they hire the right writer and the right director who bring about the right star to bring their stupid IP to life. And by that's probably Jack Black. Let's be honest. It's probably Jack Black most of the time with those things.
We'll probably get into this later this week, but the New York Times just published a report about the string of flops from Hollywood this year in the theatrical releases and why this is happening. Maybe like you could say it's because, the storytelling isn't up to par. That's definitely part of the problem. But most people are responding to it saying, we do not have enough money as a family to be going to the theaters regularly. This is the problem. It's not affordable. And what I wanted to...
Even that's not even a fair comparison. There's just too much to choose from.
Well, that's also, like, it's decision anxiety. There are a lot of factors. But what I wanted to point out that I mentioned earlier is that people feel that their jobs are soul-sucking and lifeless. And they, if they were just living on the basic necessities of life, they would actually have disposable income for things like this, or at least they would have maybe in the 20th century. Advertising became such a huge industry because people working soul-sucking jobs didn't have enough incentives to continue working soul-sucking jobs, where, for instance, you're like working at a factory and you're the person who puts in this one particular bolt in this one particular machine all day, every day, repeatedly, monotonously. You're losing your will to live. No amount of pay increase is enough to incentivize you to stay in such a soul-sucking job. Therefore, advertising needs to come in and fill that vacuum and provide you more incentive so you can have this desire engendered within you for something you didn't know you wanted. Therefore, this disposable income you have continues draining because there's a new product that you want, and it just keeps you on the hamster wheel.
Fills my soul with a little bit of love until the next thing needs to come in because I'm dead inside.
Right. But I'm sorry, the LABUBU movie is not enough. It's not really cutting it.
I guess every so often they get lucky and they hit it out of the park with one random idea. I wouldn't have thought Lego Batman would have been any good, but I think a lot of people actually ended up liking Lego Batman from what I was talking about.
The Lego movie was a huge deal.
The other thing here is the corner argument to this, like the argument to the other side of the aisle, is a complete lack of creativity and to go completely formulaic, which is what works in Hollywood. It is what works. It's what works on network television. It is what works for the most part. Now, when I say that, I'm going to do a video this week, I think, on the re-rise, the return of what they call cozy crime, which is that right now, if you look at the ratings on television, it's all of these shows that are made for, if you're my age or younger, it's made to be watched in the background while you're doing dishes or cleaning around the house. Or if you're older than us, older than me, then you can watch on your recliner before bed.
Chain smoking, right? In your living room.
Exactly. It's designed to be inoffensive. It's designed to be exactly what you expected it to be. And that's okay. It's got its own market share for those types of things. These are businesses. The other problem they have, they are no longer advertising to a small subset of people, which makes that type of thing. Okay, you want to listen to the audience, right? Well, which audience is that? Is that your American audience? Is that your international audiences? Because we're seeing increasing amounts of gap between the American box office and the returns on the overseas box office. I saw this lie this weekend from this account that said Now You See Me 3 made back 85% of its budget in its first 2 days. Wrong. The movie cost like $90 million to make, or $100 million to make, and made $75 million. Well, parroting the lie that they keep all that money. No, they keep even less than that. Not just because of the American box office, of which it made very little. It made most of its money overseas, where the split is even worse. So who do you make your movies for? Do you make it for China? Which Hollywood spent a decade trying to do and it failed, and then Hollywood decided we're going to make our own movies anyways. The #1 movie of this year, if you want to actually believe the numbers that were provided, was that movie Niza 2 made like $2 gazillion dollars. It was like $2 billion or something like that. Whether you want to believe those numbers or not, they don't need to market towards American audiences anymore. But American audiences are consistently trying to find this universal appeal when then suddenly Superman no longer has truth, justice in the American way, right? You are no longer just marketing to an American audience. You're marketing to a worldwide audience. So to them, they're like, screw it. We'll just make them like something. We'll make LABUBU, and then China will love it, and stupid American kids will love it, and everybody will go and see it. Does it work all the time? No. In fact, it rarely works, or it seems like it rarely works. But that's, in my opinion, what their approach is now. They're global companies. They're not just American companies. If you were advertising to American companies, perhaps you could be even more specific. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.